Let's take a look at the top 5 fastest marathon performances of all time. Now, I'm only covering legitimate world records on certified courses, so unfortunately, Eliud Kipchoge's sub 2-hour marathon will not be covered in this video. The same goes for Kipchoge's first sub 2 attempt back in 2017. So with no further ado, let's go to the 2019 Berlin Marathon to check out the 5th fastest performance of all time. Kenenisa Bekele from Ethiopia, one of the GOATs of distance running, was lined up to put his marathon skills to the test. Now, if you don't know Bekele's track record coming into this race, let me fill you in. 3 Olympic gold medals, 6 World Championship gold medals, 11 World Cross Country gold medals, and a couple marathon major medals as well. The dude was an absolute freak, and in 2019 at Berlin, Bekele in the field took off at an impressive pace of around 4:40 per mile. Coming through the half in 1:01:05, Bekele and company pressed forward with determination for a crazy fast time. But here's where something wild happened. Fellow Ethiopian Legacy took off around the 18-mile mark, essentially dropping Bekele by as much as 30 seconds. For a while, it seemed like it was Legacy who would take the win. But in true hero fashion, Bekele flipped a switch with just about 3 miles to go, passing Legacy, heading for the finish line with sheer determination. Bekele simply did not stop pressing, and with a majestic sprint down the final stretch, Bekele crossed in 2:01:41. An absolutely incredible performance. Bekele proved that he didn't just have it on the track on the grass, he had it on the roads too. But guess what? Bekele's race wasn't a world record. Bekele crossed the line just 2 seconds slower than our 4th fastest marathon time ever. Enter Eliud Kipchoge. There is so much to say about this man, just an absolute marathon machine. Going into the fall of 2018, Kipchoge was the most feared runner on the road. Eliud was looking to add yet another major marathon victory to his resume, and at the 2018 Berlin Marathon, exactly 1 year prior to Bekele's race, Kipchoge took off with the goal of running a world record time. The world record at the time was held by Dennis Kimetto at 2:02:57, and Kipchoge was picking the perfect time to go for this record. You may be noticing that a lot of the world's fastest times have been run at Berlin, and that is because the course is laser fast. And Kipchoge was simply in phenomenal shape, coming off of a marathon winning streak like no other. He crossed through the half in 1:01:06, putting him in a great position for the world record. And Kipchoge did not slow down, not one bit through the latter half of the race. He glided down the final stretch, crossing the line in 2:01:39. A world record by well over a minute, in fact, just an absolutely mind-blowing performance. It was this race that finally pushed closer towards that sub-2-hour barrier. Kipchoge would keep the world record for several years to come, but little did he know on the come-up was a marathon athlete who was going to finally compete with Kipchoge's times. His name, Kelvin Kiptum. Now, before going any further, if you're not aware, Kiptum had recently passed away along with his coach during a car accident back in February 2024. An absolutely tragic incident that took away a 24-year-old Kiptum who had one of the brightest marathon futures you can imagine. This makes his stellar marathon performances all the more remembering, and it's very true that Kiptum may have been the most talented marathon runner we've ever seen to date. Unlike Bekele and Kipchoge, who ran years of track and cross country prior to marathoning, Kiptum essentially was birthed into the marathon right away. His debut marathon time of 2:01:53 proved that Kiptum was an animal. And at the 2023 London Marathon, Kelvin was looking to put up an even faster time. With decent company, Kiptum crossed through the half in 1 hour and 22 seconds, which put him on pace for a crazy fast finish. Kelvin held a strong pace behind the half, then broke away just before mile 19, cruising in around the final turn, sprinting down the final stretch, breaking the tape in 2:01:25. A ridiculous time, breaking the course record in London by a long shot, and officially running the 2nd fastest marathon of all time. But who had the fastest at this point? Go ahead, take a guess. The answer, in fact, was Eliud Kipchoge. And where do you think he ran this record? I'll give you a second. Yes, it was the Berlin Marathon. The year was 2022, and Eliud towed the line with determination to run yet another mind-blowing time. It certainly wasn't going to be a surprise that Kipchoge wanted a fast pace to start. The Pacers took him out through the half in 59:51. Yes, that's right on pace for a sub-2-hour marathon. But as you know, the second half of a marathon race is by no means an easy even split. Kipchoge was all alone, but impressively stayed on a remarkable pace. Looking at the form says it all, to be honest. Eliud coasted down the final stretch, knowing he was just about to run a world record, crossing the finish in 2:01:09. Yet another jaw-dropping performance from Kipchoge in Berlin, essentially cementing himself with the most successful marathon career of all time. It wasn't certain anyone would catch him, but it was certain there was one guy who was going to try. Bring back Kelvin Kiptum. In 2023, the dude was already edging on Eliud's world record, and he was ready to chase down history at the 2023 Chicago Marathon. If there was any race where people thought that the world record was in contention, it was this glorious fall morning in the windy city, Chicago. Kiptum took off with good weather in his favor, looking comfortable and poised through the first half of the race. Coming through the half in 1 hour and 48 seconds, Kiptum was a tad behind world record, and for a minute it seemed like things were going to slip away. But Kelvin did not simply just coast it in. Kiptum started dropping the hammer, pressing forward, dropping some mile splits in the 420s. His final few miles were phenomenal. The dude stormed down the final stretch with pure speed, gritting his teeth, giving it everything he had, crossing the line in 2 hours flat in 35 seconds. I cannot stress you enough how crazy this race was. I mean, it was truly insane to see the world's best Eliud Kipchoge finally taken down as far as time. Kiptum essentially became famous overnight with this performance, and overall the world was stunned with the talent from this young Kenyan. The incredibly fast rise and sheer dominance of Kelvin Kiptum's marathon career will forever be remembered dearly. So there you have it, everyone, the top 5 marathon times we've ever seen. Hope you enjoy the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.